you, George, for the introduction and for organizing this event where we could all meet this evening. And at the very outset, am I very clearly audible to the people at the farthest end? At this very outset, thank you all for being here. And I would consider this evening where we could sit together and discuss. As it is, the name of this place is quite suggestive that it's open. Yes, it's open. And so also, anything that's really revolutionary, evolutionary, it should be open. When any idea is confined, with an attitude that if it is questioned, if it is doubted, if it is criticized, would offend anyone, that means that idea, that thought is not available to be verified. Then that idea, that ideology simply remains to be admired, believed, swallowed, and followed. And really speaking, those ideas which are so rigid aren't open for verification, are static. And when they don the cloak of not to be touched by critical thinking, analysis, or any form of verification, and it has a great support of number of people, then that idea can become detrimental. Then that ideology can become detrimental because it can burst at any given time. It is inflammable. It can be ignited, and it can ignite human beings to work against each other. And therefore, every idea or every ideology, by the very virtue of it being an ideology, should be available for analysis. And therefore, an ideology, when sits into the confines of being religious and hence not available, then it is not something very healthy for any developing society. And if human beings cannot develop, if the human intelligence cannot progress, then what is the point of the entire endeavor of humanity? So it's a wonderful thing, George, that we are meeting over here in a setting which is quite different. A setting which is not as usual, in the sanctity of a temple or some religious atmosphere. This is quite open. And so it's a wonderful thing. So thank you very much. Thank you all for being here.
Swamiji also spoke at the Vatican some years ago, so it's quite a contrast from the Vatican.
Though I spoke at the Vatican, but really speaking, I found it to be a big farce. Because nobody over there in those high places really wants to hear anything except praises for themselves. Except saying that what a wonderful thing that these people are doing by having me here to talk to you. But what is being spoken is just not important. Well then, so even if it was, an invitation from Vatican or other places, to me, it is of very little significance. What is of significance is that when we discuss, it is heard, it is analyzed, it is absorbed, and if it transforms you, if you find that it is worth appreciating, then that investment of energy and time is far more valuable to me than just big platforms. Well, friends, so here we go. When we are talking about the human pursuit, it basically means all our activities, whatever we may be doing, does it have a specific purpose? Because that purpose is going to determine where your activities are flowing towards. What exactly is it that is wanted? The purpose determines the pursuit. There is a very famous statement by one of the greatest teachers of the Vedanta lineage, and he says, Prayojanam anuddeshya mandopi na pravartate. There is a little murmur, but it's still okay by you? Or I need to hold the mic a little closer? Right this way? Okay. Makes me a little pop. So it's okay. Mandopi na pravartate. Even a dull-witted person would not engage himself in an activity which doesn't have a purpose. Even the most dull-witted person. So then there was one man, he visited a mental asylum. And having entered over there, he found one of the inmates trying to put a nail in the wall with hammer. The only problem was this man had kept the head of the nail, the flat surface, on the wall, and he was hitting on the pointed surface. So the visitor, having observed this, thought that he should enlighten the person. And he said, Sir, if I may tell you, it should be the nail the other way around. The nail should be the other way around. And he said, this man who was hitting the nail, he said, quiet please. I know what I'm doing. I want the nail to be on the other side of the wall. So even the most dull-witted person seems to be engaged in an activity for which there is a purpose. And so also, we are all engaged from morning to evening in activity, an endless activity, till the point you fall asleep you are engaged in doing something of the other. You may be looking at that Facebook till you are sleepy and the phone falls on the face. You wake up to once again scroll it down to find out what are the politicians doing around you. There is a constant rigmarole of activity. Then what are these activities directed to? We all seem to be engaged. And if we are in midst of those activities, then necessarily those activities have to have a purpose. What is the purpose of those activities? And I'm going to go back to the Indian scriptures, wherein we say there are these 4 pursuits. Just 4. And before I could name them and bring their Sanskrit words to you, if you're going to observe yourself and people around you, this is what you're going to find. That most of us are occupied with just 2 things: the pursuit of security and the pursuit of pleasure. Most of the actions, most of our activity, most of our psychology is simply engaged with these 2 things. I want security and I want pleasure. When we are talking about security, it covers almost every aspect. Whether you see security in money, you see security in popularity, you can see security in relationships, you can see security in physical well-being, that I should be healthy and I should not age, I should not fall sick, I should be admired as beautiful, I should be looked upon by people, men and women should not forget me having seen my face once, whatever. All these are the things from which we derive a sense of security. There should be sufficient money, and that what is that sufficient we don't know, but there should be. So money, wealth, all these things are considered to be security. I want them. I want it. The other form is pleasure. That I want to please myself. And pleasure simply does not mean that it is a sensory pleasure. Of course, listening to music. And maybe you can walk across this counter and they're serving free drinks here. Yeah? So pleasure. It could be a pleasure, something that delights your heart, something which sparks your intelligence, satisfies your intelligence. All these things are pursuits, and these are pursuits pursuits of pleasure in various ways. So we are saying that there are these 2 pursuits which are recognized. In fact, these are the 2 pivotal hubs around which most of our activities keep on revolving. We are engaged only in bringing pleasure or gathering security. Whatever, and the securities, etc., they keep on changing their definitions. At some point, wealth can appear to be your security. At some point, you are ready to sacrifice the wealth for the security of, of a relationship. You're ready to sacrifice some little money for the pursuit of pleasure. So we have all these things keep on shifting, changing. It varies from time to time. So there are these two pursuits, and they are then in Sanskrit called as artha and kama. Artha means wealth, and just gathering money, your liquid assets or your stocks, etc., your property, is not the only meaning of the word artha. Artha means something which basically gives security. Wealth gives security, and therefore it is valued. You want it, it is valued. Security. There is a third pursuit and which needs to be recognized. The third pursuit is called as dharma. There is a joy which comes to you for doing things correctly, for building in harmony in life. When you are going to do things correctly, it is able to bring some harmony, some rhythm to your life, which means your action, your movement, your involvement is very much in tandem with the existence. And there is no friction. That itself gives you certain joy. Then to know how to work in harmony with the existence, how to live in harmony with the existence is something given to the human intelligence. Because there is a choice, and this choice is available only to human intelligence. A cow or a tiger does not have this choice. The cow is programmed to be herbivorous. The tiger is programmed to be carnivorous. The tiger does not have a choice whether it should be eating meat or he should be eating some grass. A cow does not have this choice. A human being has the choice that when he is going to exist with the rest of the world, how could he live? Is his involvement creating suffering, or is his existence creating an harmony? And because this intelligence allows you to have the choice, it is a higher intelligence. The pursuit of pleasure and pursuit of security is present even amongst the animals. So any living human, any living being, if has these two, it's not going to surprise anyone. If human beings also have these two pursuits, it's not going to be any way different. But as a human being, you will have something more, and that more means you have a choice, which the animal kingdom does not have. And therefore, when you do something correctly, that itself gives you joy. This pursuit of living correctly, in tandem with existence, in harmony with the totality, then is called as dharma. The word dharma has got several implications, but this is one implication which should give you a little clarity. Now, even when you want to bring security or you want to have pleasures in life, there is a way how to bring it, how to achieve it. There is a right way. Just because I want money does not mean that I could go about pickpocketing. Just because I want to have money does not mean that I can go about looting, plundering, murdering, killing, and have money because that money gives me security. There is a way to have it. There is a way even to spend it. And when we understand what is the correct way, what is the righteous way, what is the right way, then it is you are leading the life of dharma. This is the third pursuit, how to live rightly, correctly. And therefore, now when you know that there are these artha and kama as the pursuit, we just put in the reverse manner that dharma is placed as the first pursuit, followed by artha and kama. So when your pursuit of wealth, security or pleasure is guided, is led by the sense of dharma, then dharma is on a priority, and that makes you human. Or else just to seek security and pleasure, which is common even in the animal kingdom. But animals are programmed, and therefore they do not create a disharmony in life. As human beings, we have a choice, and therefore we can create a disharmony. We have a choice, and when this freedom is abused, misused, it creates an imbalance all around. This is what we see with various activities that people have followed. How badly we have exploited the earth, how badly we have exploited the animals, just because we want more pleasures, because we want more security, and for which we have created a disharmony. Dharma is therefore the third pursuit. There is the fourth pursuit which the scriptures recognize, and this is called as moksha. The word moksha itself is quite eloquent. Moksha means freedom, liberation. Want to be free. This is a legitimate pursuit. Wanting to be free. When you are going to say moksha, it creates that spiritual aura of somebody who is talking to people with half-closed eyes, liberated, enlightened. No. You have to understand the word moksha. Generally, this is looked upon as a very positive term, but it is not. The word moksha becomes meaningful only when the word freedom becomes meaningful, only with a question, freedom from what? What is it that you want to be free from? Just word of freedom doesn't become meaningful. What is it that you want to be free from? There is definitely something that is not wanted by you, and you want to be free from that. So now here comes, what is it that you want to be free from? In fact, going a little further, we are going to find that this freedom, this pursuit of freedom, is in fact the only pursuit that we really have. Apparently, we may be wanting to earn money, wealth, popularity, wanting to have more number of girlfriends, boyfriends, whatsoever. But ultimately, what really we are seeking is this freedom. So what happens now is freedom from what? Because every moment is guided actually by this pursuit, by this aspiration. Then we say, I want to be, even the pursuit of security and the pursuit of pleasure is also the pursuit of freedom. When you say that I want security, what you really mean is I want to be free from insecurity. When you are saying that I want pleasure, what you are saying is I want to be free from the feeling, from the sense of displeasure. That I am displeased, I am insecure, and I want to be free from this sense of insecurity, or free from this sense of displeasure. So by getting something, I would be free. By bringing more money, I would be free from this sense of insecurity. By getting more and more pleasures, I would be free from the sense of displeasure. And therefore, what I am pursuing is really the pursuit of freedom. This is the pursuit which really rules your heart. Apparently, you may be engaged in making money. Apparently, you may be seen chasing girls or boys. But really speaking, what you are chasing is only this freedom. Now, what do you mean by that pursuit of liberation? Freedom from something that you do not want. Freedom from something that is not desired. Or what is not desirable. So I want to be free from that. And what is not desirable is even the idea that I may suffer. Freedom, and freedom from suffering. I do not want to suffer in any which ways. As long as a person is seen as giving you pleasure or security, that person would be wanted. But the moment the same person starts giving you the trouble, or the same person becomes the source of your insecurity, you would want to have it removed. Therefore, what one is seeking is the freedom, and freedom from suffering. Therefore, when we are saying that there are four pursuits in life, yet ultimately the pursuit that one has is in reality the pursuit of freedom, because this is what is truly sought by each one of us. What one truly wants is this freedom from suffering, and it is just not this definition of moksha. It also means